definitely the most good-looking panel I've had so far,
Thank you.
by a very big margin. Um, how are you guys doing?
Fantastic. How are
Fantastic.
you?
I'm good, good. So you run like a fighting kind of business, right?
Yeah, it's called Matrix Fight Night. It's India's leading mixed martial arts promotion and has quickly become one of South Asia's leading promotions as well.
Yeah. So and normally women, young women, don't say, "I want to open a business of people fighting with each other." So where is that coming from?
I always say I welcome challenges with open arms, you know. Being able to kind of dominate a very male-dominated industry is a very satisfying feeling. And I think, you know, I've been an avid follower of the sport for many, many years now. And I believe there's so much potential in our athletes. So many of these Indian guys and girls who possess all this potential, they don't have the correct infrastructure or the correct marketing and promotion to be recognized on a global scale. And that's where Matrix Fight Night came in.
Okay. Have you seen the fights on news debates on ABP at night?
I have.
Yeah. Maybe we can mix the two.
Very
That's
different
the
type
next
of
level.
fighting.
Which is bring the real physical fight soon.
You know, if people actually did this kind of fight, they wouldn't be doing the other kind of fight.
I know, but I think then we'll actually solve problems.
Exactly what I'm
We'll
saying.
fix
This
all
is the
the
right
national
one to do.
issues. So how are you doing, Nikita?
Fabulous.
So I asked you, what's your fitness routine? You said you train 6 times a week.
Approximately 5 to 6 times a week.
And how long is that?
It's, generally intense training should not be at a very long stretch. So I would say approximately 45 minutes or so.
Okay.
A day is more than enough. And you know, it sounds like a lot saying 6 times a week, but it's actually like you're doing different things. It's not like you're going 6 times a week and running like 10 kilometers every day or lifting really heavy every day. It's spread out in a very, even manner where you can balance it out and give your body that rest.
Okay. And you? How often do you train?
Every week's different, but I think, you know, just like Nikita had said, it's important to understand that if you spend, a lot of people think they need to go, you know, so hard and spend 2 hours at the gym, but the longer you spend at the gym, the less quality your workout's going to be because there's a certain hormone in your body called cortisol, which is a stress hormone. So that automatically shoots up, and when that shoots up, you tend to hold a lot of water retention and a lot of water weight, so it's kind of backtracking you. So a quality, 45 to an hour workout consistently will definitely benefit you a lot more.
Okay. Let's roll back on the fitness because a lot of people think fitness is gym, fitness is exercise, but there's three components. Long back, John Abraham told me this. I think he's a good person to learn about fitness from. So he says it's diet, fitness, diet, exercise, and sleep. Do you guys agree? These are the 3 pillars of fitness.
It's actually diet, exercise, and rest, I would say. How much
Okay.
rest are you giving your body,
Correct.
which includes your sleep.
Right.
But he's absolutely right about that. There's no other way. There's no there's no like a formula that somebody can give you. You just have to be at this balance with all these 3 parameters, and you'll have the fittest
So
body.
sleep, I think, is the easiest for a lot of people here. But
Sure.
we
You know,
will
actually,
talk.
that's
it's
also
not-
very difficult for a lot of people
Yeah,
today.
we will talk about. So I want to. Do you agree with the same 3? So let's talk about all 3, right? Which one should we go for first? Let's go for diet, okay? Which is been, at least for me, the hardest, and for a lot of people, it's the hardest because it's not just that time in the gym; it's 24/7. And when we talk of fitness, I think I was discussing with you, there is a scale on how disciplined you are as a human being. On one hand, you have the typical couch potato. I have some Punjabi uncles who don't believe in fitness as a concept. I mean, they are quite happy also. Um, and on the other extreme is your brother, Tiger Shroff. I say it from first-hand experience because I remember at one time we had the same gym, I think fitness in Bandra, and he would come there, and your mother would also come there.
Yeah.
And she would tell me that how he is so disciplined. Firstly, he would work out. He was always there. Whenever I went, he was working out. Then she said, everything he eats is measured,
Yeah.
weighed. Like each and every thing that goes into his mouth. He doesn't eat any sweets. And even his birthday cake he doesn't eat, he smells it. This is not an exaggeration. This
It's
is a way
not.
of life.
Absolutely.
So that's one extreme. Now we're trying to discuss fitness and we're trying to discuss diet, exercise, sleep. How do you guys see it? And for an, I would say, aam aadmi here, an aam aurat, who cannot be like Tiger Shroff level of discipline, uh, how should they start? Like they've never done a proper job at fitness. Kabhi kar liya, morning walk, yoga.
Listen, I say, as cheesy and unoriginal as it sounds, consistency is key. Also, fitness is very much a game of trial and error, you know. So what may work for me may not work for you, and vice versa. Make those mistakes. Understand what works best for your body. You know, you got to listen to your body and really understand it to know what benefits you the most. So me sitting here and preaching something specific might not be beneficial to all of you. But I just believe in consistency. So, you know, as long as the gym can be a very intimidating, overwhelming thing. So I think as long as, you know, you realize that it's as simple as just going out of the house for a little walk, 30 to 45 minutes a day, getting some kind of movement and blood flow in every single day, you're going to better yourself for tomorrow.
But you know, 45 minutes a day walking, we are not going to end up looking like you. Right? Ever. Actually, that will never happen anyway, even if we walk.
But you know, you need to be clear. Do you want to end up looking like this or do you want to be fit? Because
okay,
they're
there's
two
a
different
difference?
things. Of course, they're two
Absolutely.
different things.
So talk about
There's
that.
a lot more that goes into that. And this is something I tell a lot of people, and especially when they're not facing the camera, how do you feel internally? Is your breathing correct? Are you getting tired when you climb up the stairs? They're very small things that can actually check your fitness level on a daily level. And what's your purpose of being fit? I mean, you want to
look good on
old
Instagram, right?
No, that's a
That's
different
not
thing.
the
That's
purpose?
what I'm saying. Aesthetic and fitness are two very different things. You should not mix them up.
I did Ori's session, everything is about impressing other people, he said.
But that's making a career out of aesthetics. We're talking about fitness here. We're not talking about aesthetics.
Okay. So let's talk about diet then, right? So how do you see diet? How do you guys eat? Just be honest, okay? Don't say मैं सब खाती हूँ. All these actresses say मैं तो रोज गाजर का हलवा खाती हूँ. Nobody eats गाजर का हलवा.
No, honestly, I do eat everything. You know, I don't believe in
Like-
depriving myself of anything. I believe when your body's craving something, it's lacking a certain nutrient or mineral.
If I'm
So
craving gulab jamun, what am I like?
have a gulab jamun, but stop at one.
No, I'm just asking what is the nutrient I'm craving? Because I'm always craving. There is constant. I don't even know a life without craving.
You should have your gulab jamun and go for a 10-minute walk after that.
Okay.
Right, like right after eating your gulab jamun.
And can it be circular and I come back to the buffet table and
And then you just keep walking in circles.
that's my life in a nutshell. But yes, okay. So you feel you eat everything.
I do eat everything, and I really, honestly, I've tried.
You eat your brother's birthday cake?
I do.
Somebody must
for
be eating
him.
it. Yeah.
No, but honestly, I've tried every fad diet in the book on the internet. But really, what's worked best for me has been portion control, and it's taken some time to get there to be able to have that willpower to, you know, maybe stop at one cookie or a couple of chips instead of the entire packet. But I think balance, like I said before, is crucial, and you know, portion control definitely has benefited me a lot.
And how? Like tiger style, you wait like 43 grams?
Not necessarily. I'm more of an intuitive eater, so I kind of just eyeball it. But, you know, incorporating my favorite foods into my routine and my lifestyle, it's benefited me because I don't have that one cheat day where I'm binging till the point that I'm sick, and then that backtracks me. So I'd rather, you know, incorporate it slightly throughout the week and work out at the same time to get that balance.
How about you?
So there's one thing that I've actually been following for the last 13 years of my life, since the time I kind of adopted a healthier lifestyle, and I swear by it, and I'm very proud of the facts that I say. I have not touched instant noodles in the last 13 years. I have
No Maggi?
No Maggi, no ramen, none of that. I have not touched any biscuits, you know, the classic biscuits that you get in a packet. I've not touched your farsan. And my entire theory about that is they will, however healthy they claim to be, they will have preservatives. They will definitely have something, which is
If
why
they're
they're
in a
lasting
packet.
in a packet for 6 months, for a year, for 2 years, whatever the time is. So the idea is that even when you do feel like cheating, like when you want to have that gulab jamun of yours, if you can have it when it's freshly made, in your own house, preferably, if you have that liberty and luxury.
No,
Nothing
nobody
like
in
it.
my house makes. But anyway, fine.
Instead
Yes.
of like having
Uh-huh.
something which is coming in a tin and is God knows packed when. So
Okay.
I'm telling you, that makes a huge difference. Your body will digest it faster. So that's something I've been swearing by over the years. And of course, rightly, like how Krishna said, everything is about moderation. Everything is about consistency. The more you deprive, and if you see the fads that we always live through, from your keto to your intermittent fasting to juice cleanses, all of these come in fashion for a while and then they fade away. It's all marketing at the end of it. Right now, you never know, something else will come up. Okay, so the idea is to just stick to a balanced diet. That's what we've been doing for years.
Yeah. What someone told me was like, look at a food and say, can this food be amazing? Like, कमाल का हो सकता है खाना, जैसे गुलाब जामुन कमाल के हो सकते हैं, जलेबी कमाल की हो सकती है, समोसे कमाल के हो सकते हैं, कमाल का खाना नहीं खाना, क्योंकि गाजर कभी कमाल की नहीं होती, गाजर अच्छी हो सकती है, जो भी खाना अच्छा हो सकता है वो खाना है, गोभी खाओ, गोभी अच्छी हो सकती है, you'll never overeat gobi, you'll never have a guy say everything was great, सब कुछ सही जा रहा था, गोभी ज़्यादा खा ली, you know, everything was great man, सब सही था, but that carrots he just overdid. So I think that's one way to look at it, that anything that is amazing to taste, portion control becomes very difficult. Like you said, just eat a few chips. The tagline is no one can eat just one.
That is true. It takes time, 100%.
You know, this is exactly what I'm saying. It's made in such a way that gives you this addictive feeling where you can't stop at one. Whereas gobi, you will stop, however tasty that gobi is.
Yeah.
You will
Nobody
stop
like
eating
eats
the aloo
10
gobi.
band gobis. Especially, I mean, rabbits do, but other than that, not really. Okay, let's talk about exercise. Cardio is there. MMA style exercise is there. Weightlifting is there. Yoga is there. Pilates is there. When I was growing up, there used to be these Jane Fonda videos, aerobics, which I don't know where they are now. I mean, why, I don't know if people still do aerobics. There's so much. And then you're saying, okay, do 45 minutes, 4-5 times a week. What should people do? Like aerobics or Zumba or weightlifting or cardio? What is your approach?
Actually just now said, and I feel like that you can't put it in any better way, is you have to do a little bit of experiment and figure out what works for you. If a walk works for you, if you feel that keeps you healthy and fit, go for a walk every day. You don't need to do anything else. If you think waking up in the morning, doing your yoga stretches is keeping you going and keeping you the way you want to be, you continue doing that. Of course, we, since are in front of the camera, and have a different thing to focus on, we put in extra time. We, of course, have multiple things that we do to look a certain way and get into shape. So there's cardio, there's weightlifting, there's stretching, there's Pilates, all of that. But again, it's one of those things where the human mind gets bored after a certain time, which is why you have all these options. The idea is to figure what's convenient, accessible, and just like get on it.
And I think especially for all the women here, I do want to bust a myth about weight training specifically, you know. We were talking a bit outside. Muscle is definitely your key to longevity. You have to understand, you know, weight training is not going to make you bulky. Eating processed foods in a surplus is what's going to do that. Weight training is just going to help you for your future. You're not going to feel it now, but you're definitely going to feel it in maybe 20 years from now. Being able to play with your kids for a longer period of time, you know, being able to walk around the house, lift heavy objects, bend, such simple things like that that we take so much for granted. It's so important to kind of just bust that myth and understand that in order to have that longevity in life and quality of life, muscle building is key.
Yeah, this myth particularly, that women, when like they'll just lift dumbbells and next morning their Hercules wakes up.
That's diet. That's not training.
And guys try for 20 years in a gym and they don't have a body like that. So how is it that like a 3 kilo dumbbell will tomorrow morning Hulk is waking up? Like,
I feel like that's just a fear we have, unfortunately, and I can understand and I can speak for all those women because at one point I had a similar fear. And I'm somebody who loves cardio. Like, I'm a runner, I've been running marathons. Coming from that world, I would actually be scared to go and lift weights and get very bored. It's only when I've started realizing the muscles get weaker, it just gets tougher to lose your weight if you're not lifting. So I really want to tell actually the women out there that the more you age, the more you should be lifting. You will thank your body in the long run.
okay guys, and guys also.
Absolutely.
That goes without saying. We're talking specifically to the women here.
Okay, great. Let's talk about something which seems easy, but like you said, it's actually very hard. Sleep. Let me do a little poll. Be honest, guys. How many of you say regularly get good sleep every night? Raise your hand. See the percentage. Unless some people are sleeping right now when I ask this question. But I think it's 20-30%. It's rarely above 40% wherever I've asked this question. So a lot of people are not getting sleep. I don't even imagine, you can't be very happy in life if you're not slept properly. You can't be fit. You want to talk about sleep and how important it is in life and especially fitness?
So sleep, I feel, of course, has
And rest.
Yes, your rest has the physical aspect, which is your muscle recovery, which your body needs to recuperate and then get back into performing better. And then there's the mental aspect. You can't think straight if you've not slept properly, specifically like nights in a row. And I do understand why so many people are not able to sleep in today's times. I feel like a lot of it has to do with our phones. We hate to accept it, but it is got to do with our phones. The blue light that we take in just before going to bed, the reels that we are swiping through, just like, it's like a brain rot that we call, just before going to bed again. Your brain is thinking so much. Like you're actually seeing, when you're swiping through reels, what we don't realize is that you're seeing different topics, just like maybe 3 to 4 seconds of it. What is your brain registering? It's not thinking something straight. It's basically jumping from here to there. It's like me talking to you 1 second about, like, say, yoga, and then suddenly jumping to about movies and then going to sports. Like, I'm not fixed at a certain point. That's what your brain's doing. How do you expect a brain like that to be in a state of rest?
Yeah. What do you have to say, Krishna?
Yeah, I completely agree with her. In today's time, it's so hard to just switch off. There's so much happening. There's just constant stimulation. So I think just little things like practicing, it's very difficult, and honestly, I'm guilty of doing this as well, but guilty of not doing this actually. Just putting your phone away an hour before going to sleep, kind of having that time.
That's very hard.
Very hard.
Because, the world may stop and, like, I need to know.
Right.
Yeah.
But these little things that are so doable but we're not doing can make all the difference.
Keep the phone away. Even when you wake up in the morning, don't just...
Yeah. I've actually started practicing that now.
And some people wake up at night to use the bathroom or something.
And then check their phone again.
Dude, yeah.
And then that
See, this is why you should be writing more books so that we can read books just before going to sleep.
Are you saying my books put people to sleep? That's a market I have not tapped. Maybe we need to. But also a lot of these people are ABP employees, so they work really hard. So, that's why they're not sleeping properly, I think.
But I feel like you're going to
I think they should get raises. Am I allowed to announce raises? Okay.
You're going to be able to give more to your work if you're, going to give that time to yourself.
Yes. Let's bring, in fact, that's a good point to bring in another part of fitness, which is not considered fitness, mental health. We see, the moment you say mental health, people think it's not fitness. It's like some depression, Alzheimer's, schizophrenic, something crazy. But it's like fitness. You may not be sick, you may not have an ailment, but you can be fit or not fit, right, without any disease. Same way, mentally also there is a concept of mental fitness. How fit is your mind? And I think sleep helps. And I think, do you see that also part of fitness? And given the crazy Bollywood world or the fame world you guys are in, how do you keep your mental sanity?
I feel like all of this definitely helps you keep that mental sanity. Like, when we started off this conversation and you brought Tiger up, of course, there are all the things that Tiger does, and we've all seen it on Instagram. But he's actually a very calm person when you meet him. He's really calm, and he's really like, someone who's very soft. It's not the same when you see news shows and you see people fighting out there. They're really full of aggression. So that is definitely not being at mental peace. So this... Are
you saying the people doing the news
they're
debates?
not.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
I think they also come
with
a lot
all have mental health issues. If they're coming to TV debates at night...
At this point, everybody has mental health issues. Let me just put it out on the table. There's nobody who's sane. We're all trying. I think I should be very clear about that. The world that we live in, we're all trying.
A little
which
crazy,
is fine. Yes,
yeah.
it's a crazy world out there. But this definitely does help you, I would say. It definitely does. And the taboo that we have around discussing mental health, it's just one of those things that will take a while for people to just accept that it's okay to have therapists and to have doctors who can also, you can go to them for your mental health, because this is not a concept that existed back in the day. So you have a lot of people from the older generation who just completely diss it, that, oh, this cannot happen, what are you talking about, depression? And of course this didn't exist in our time, and the parents will say, we just slapped the child once and the child's okay and you can't be crying about this. It'll take a while to like get over that and make peace with it.
But I do think fitness, the physical aspect of it goes so hand in hand with the whole mental aspect of it. You're never going to look as good as you feel, and you're never going to feel as good as you look. And I think, for me especially, whatever...
Say that again. What?
You should, everybody should just like make a
yeah,
note of this. I want to make a note of this.
You're never going to look as good as you feel, and you're never going to feel as good as you look.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, that's
Deep.
very deep. Okay. Nice.
Thank you.
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, and I mean, like she was saying earlier, the foods that you consume and the things that you're putting into your body, it's so important to know where it comes from, because all these foods now today that are so processed, all of that has a direct impact to the way you feel. So it's not just about gaining a few kilos here and there. It also has a direct impact to, how lethargic you feel, how sad you feel, and just, all the negative emotions.
And that's also your social media, because at one point you did not know what the world was up to and you were fine, you were very happy, and now you know more than what is needed.
No, my social media is extra bad, because on Instagram, I don't know who makes these, but I can't stop watching them. Best pav bhaji in Bombay, and they're putting so much butter, then the best chole bhature in Delhi. And then that's
I think it's time to change your algorithm, and we can help you with that.
How do I change it? Should I search for avocados or something?
Yeah,
or
you got to start watching different things. It's just your algorithm.
Okay.
Start watching some workout videos, suddenly you'll see a switch, and you'll get motivated. Maybe that's a solution.
I have to get the chole bhature and tikkuji. Do you know tikkuji? You know tikkuji, right? It's just, I can't stop watching them.
But you mentioned social media and this whole thing, I think it's also important to understand that people are putting their best selves out there. So it's so, it's so common, and so, everyone does it. You compare yourself to what you see online. But it's also important to understand that, fitness, your journey, it's a very individual thing. Like I said earlier, it's a game of trial and error, and you're an individual in this world for a reason. So embrace your uniqueness, give it a shot, see what works for you, and just focus on your own journey, So as long as you're doing something every single day to better yourself than you were yesterday, you're going to be one step closer to your goal. So without looking left or right, just focus on what's ahead.
Yeah, speaking of, you just briefly touched on it also, Instagram or social media in general, creating impossible beauty standards. It could be a guy, it could be a girl who's 12, 13 years old, and she sees someone looks like this, or you. How long did it take you to do your hair and makeup today? I mean, let's be real.
Okay, let's be real. It's taken an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just hair and makeup.
Yeah.
And then there's a discipline, your fitness, all the things.
Of course, then there's a morning routine and etc.
There's a routine, there's a whole skin care happening and all kinds of things happening.
Yes.
Genetics.
Correct. Which we can't do much about, unfortunately. But then when a 12-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl, that's when you start Instagram, get a phone these days, they see this. And, somewhere down the line she wanted to be a scientist or she wanted to be a doctor, whatever, but then she also wants to look good. But she sees one after the other, the algorithm of one beautiful person and a beautiful body after the other. Is it good or is it bad?
Of course it's bad, that's a no-brainer. And I'll tell you why this happens, this is just an opinion, is I feel earlier, of course, there was no access to it. When we were growing up, when we were 12, 13 years old, we did not have access to all of this. We didn't live in a world of filters. We had the cameras, they clicked a picture, and that picture probably came out from the negative, and that's how you look like. Today, you click a picture, you do your little touch-up, your iPhone allows you to clean up right then and there, you add some filters to it, you correct the light, and you're looking like a different person altogether. So, which is why I feel like there are lots of these unrealistic standards that are built specifically on Instagram, and that's the medium most people refer to since it's the medium of images, which I feel somewhere, mean, there's a difference, which I said in the beginning. There's a difference between aesthetics and fitness. And that's purely aesthetics. That's not fit. And I mean, I was having this conversation with Krishna and I said, any real fit person will actually know when you look at someone, is this real fitness or is this just aesthetically done? You know it. As a fit person, you definitely know it that, okay, no, there is time that is spent in the gym, there is hard work that's gone there, or well, that's just like the outside touch-up.
Last word to you on this.
I think, I do completely agree with what Nikita said, but on the other side, I think it's also important, not the unrealistic standards, but it's important to see certain things in certain people who inspire you and motivate you. I think for me, the person that inspired me to kind of get into this is my brother. And it's a blessing to kind of have those people to look up to, because it definitely pushes you to be better and try to do better. And they say you're as good as the company that you keep, and I'm blessed. Mine's top notch.
That's right. So
that's the second line from Krishna we all are taking back today.
Yes, and I'm also going to get inspired and I'm going to smell my birthday cake and then eat it later. But I will definitely start smelling things more and eating them less, hopefully. Thank you, lovely ladies. Krishna, Nikita, it was amazing talking to you.
Thank
This
you.
session will be very inspiring to so many people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.